Hello, makers and tinkerers. Welcome to another episode of Making with Matt. We are back for the second part of our two-part series on paper sports. And this is going to be the oblong ball. For this, you're going to need a little bit more stuff. So you will still need a piece of printer paper, but also some tape. I'm using some Scotch tape. And you will need some scissors. You will need a pen. Pen doesn't have to be a Sharpie marker, can be any kind of pen. Markers are a little bit better for what we're going to do, but it's okay, a pen will work just fine. Obviously it's the paper and cardboard. And I want to talk a little bit about cardboard just briefly before we get started. There's lots of different kinds of cardboard. Now this is a flap from a box for something that was shipped to my house. And this is a box from a grocery. And they look very similar. This doesn't have any printing or has that kind of printing, and this has other printing. But there's kind of two kinds of cardboard in the world. And the cardboard people probably will not appreciate me simplifying things. But there's the cardboard that has nothing there's no sandwich. There's nothing in between there. If you look at this piece of cardboard, you've got this wavy stuff. There's two pieces of cardboard, and then sandwiched in between is this wavy cardboard. Both cardboards have good uses that we're going to use today, and you can definitely use either one of these today, but I'm going to recommend you use the cardboard with the wavy stuff. We call that kind of cardboard corrugated cardboard, and that's a big word. You can try it on, corrugated. We're not going to go into the details, but it does mean the wavy pattern that's in there. Okay? All right, so a piece of cardboard. And we are ready to go. And we're going to start with a piece of paper. And the printer paper can also be recycled printer paper. It doesn't have to be brand new. We're going to fold it in thirds, lengthwise. So this is called hamburger style, and this is called hot dog style. So we're going to hold the paper hot dog style, and we're going to fold it in thirds. Now what I'm trying to do, and it's really hard to fold in thirds. Halves is not so hard. Quarters is not so hard, but thirds is tough. And it doesn't have to be perfect. Mine will not be perfect. Yours will not be perfect, probably, but who knows. Now if you wanted to, you could get something to measure out and measure things. But what I'm looking at here is this is equal to this. You can see where I've got this edge of the piece of paper, and that's going to be close enough. Now to do this fold, to get a nice crease, we're going to hold the paper like this, and we're going to push this crease out. You'll notice that the edge of my paper was even, well, pretty close to even, before I pushed that crease out. I'm going to open that up, and I'm going to fold my other piece so that it goes up to that fold line. Just like that. I'm going to hold that, push my crease out. I've got this squared up before I push my crease out. That makes it a straight crease. And look, mine's not perfect. It's off a little bit. That's okay. Doesn't have to be perfect. We're going to fold this over like that. And now I have roughly, we started out with an 8.5 by 11 piece, but now it's roughly a third. Okay, now I'm going to make some triangles. Triangle number one. I see I'm folding this over, and I'm lining up my edge. I'm lining up my edge right here before I do my crease. There's my crease. If I line up my edges, my other line where I crease will be straight. I'm going to fold that over again. Lined up this edge right here. Crease. Now you can see it's kind of doing something wonky up here. We're just going to push that out again. Okay? We're going to do that a few more times. Like so. And then I'm done with my making of the triangles, and now I have this extra bit. We're going to fold this extra bit in like this and like this. Now the goal here is to get this extra bit, this part, into this little pocket that was created. Before we do that though, we're going to help it. We're going to fold it down like this and stuff it in. And there we go. We have our football, our American football. That's our oblong ball, an American football. Now, in American football, you've got some stripes on the edges. Now, if this were a full American football, this would actually go all the way around in a circle. Doesn't, because it's a flat piece of paper. Now, back in the day when footballs were still made, and maybe some footballs still today, they actually had big laces. And these laces were really important for American football players because they allowed the quarterback to grab onto the ball with their fingers and hold it, and most importantly, spin the ball. These laces were actually used to sew the ball together. Now I don't think so much. Mostly they're for the quarterback to grab a hold of it. And so that is our football. Now, the game of football is done like this. And we're going to go over the details of playing the game of tabletop American football in the next episode. But I want to show you a couple of things, and we still have not used our scissors, our tape, or our cardboard. So here we go. This is why we need those things. So you're going to want to practice. You're going to play somebody tabletop football because you play against one other person, and you need to be able to flick. But you also need to be able to kick. So you hold it like this, hold it like this, and then you take your other finger, and you could use any finger you want, and you want to flick it. You want to flick it. And so you want that flicking part to happen right down here. And I'm kind of tilting it back, and I'm pointing it that way. And it's like kicking a field goal in American football. Now, so that you can practice, here's where the cardboard comes in. And I may speed this up, and then you can slow it down. But we're going to make a cardboard field goal post. So we're going to draw it. It's always good to mark things before you actually cut things. So we're going to cut this with our scissors. And I'm just going to use the full width. Yours does not have to be like mine, but we want this opening to be about that size. And if you want, you can take your football and kind of stick it there. You could even make it the width of that and the height of that side, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be exact. And so you'll see I have created a goalpost. So let's cut that goalpost out. For simplicity, I'm going to cut straight across, follow along my lines. I'm going to get rid of this little chunk. Now I want to save that little chunk, so I'm going to cut right up to the edge there, because we're going to use this little chunk, this little square of cardboard. So there's the other piece. Here's this piece. Going kind of fast, but you can take your time. You don't have to go as fast as I am. Okay, and those two pieces we're going to use. Now this middle piece we might use for something else. And it's going to be tricky to get in there. I'm going to show you how you can get in there to make these corners, because I can't get my scissors in there. But you can cut like this. And we do this a lot when we're working with wood also. So I can remove that piece. I can remove this piece. And this other piece. I can continue to do these triangle kind of cutouts, and I'll end up with all these little pieces. But this way I get a nice square. Definitely pause the video and take your time with this. Now, these pieces we will save for later. Put them back there. And here's our goal post. Now, if only it would stay up. Well, that's what these pieces are for. We're going to fold these pieces in half. There's one. Fold these pieces in half. It doesn't matter if they're not perfect, okay? In Maker's Lab, things do not have to be perfect. And oftentimes we mess up all the time in the Maker's Lab, and that's okay. So I'm going to tape this to that one. Take a piece of tape. Oh, well, see, here you go. Here's not perfect. The tape is not cooperating. I'll save that for my tape ball that I'm creating, giant tape ball. Don't throw away your messed up tape. You can make a tape ball out of it. Okay, here we go. I'm going to stick it like that. Now I'm going to need to put this one like this. We want to make sure that they line up. This is more important that they line up this way, because we want it to be flat. So let's get another piece of tape. I gotta have more tape ball. Oh my gosh, I might have more tape ball. That's okay. This tape is not so good coming off. So I don't know exactly what I'm going to do here, but I'm just going to kind of blob it on there. Doesn't have to be perfect, remember. And then I'm going to wrap it around. Okay. And you can add more pieces of tape to make it more secure, but guess what? It stands up now. Let's move our scissors and our tape away. There's our goalpost. Here's our football. You could also put things on this side too. Here's our goalpost. Here's our kick. Well, it went through, but then it bounced. Oh, God. Let's try it again. Well, I got the first one through. The second one was no good. Can't wait to see what you guys come up with. Thanks for listening. I'll see you next time. Well, thanks for watching too, I guess.